Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? My name is Nathaniel A. Galupo. I am 36 years old and single. I am a teacher by profession with 10 years of experience. I am the kind of person who is self-motivated, disciplined, and work-oriented. I usually spend my leisure time watching math tutorial videos and making a short video about solving simple math problems and uploading it in the Facebook through Reels. Along with this, playing chess is also my hobby. Moreover, I love hanging out with friends, travel, and nature tripping. What motivated you to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? Actually, when I was an elementary pupil, medicine was my first choice of career. But because of my high school math teacher, her way of teaching had a big impact on me. She saw a potential in me and she believed that I could do and excel more in math. She became my inspiration and had influenced my decision to take an education course with specialization in mathematics. Although it is a challenging subject, both to teach and to learn, but still I believe that it is one of the most rewarding. Tell us about your involvement in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise. My extracurricular activities involve coaching in mathematics contests and chess tournament. Also, I used to be a mathematics coordinator in one of the schools in which I was assigned before. Currently, I am occupying the position of the president of the Sarangani Mathematics Association of Responsive Teachers, a non-profit organization duly recognized by the school's division of Sarangani and is supervised by our education program supervisor in mathematics. Our organization spearheads the annual Division Mathematics Olympics, which aims to provide an avenue to our learners to showcase their mathematical prowess and ability, and at the same time to validate their learning in the different competencies through individual quiz, team quiz, and poster making competition. What subjects have you taught and at what age levels? I taught junior high school mathematics to grades 7 to 10, which is more on algebra, geometry, and trigonometry. Also, I used to teach senior high school mathematics subjects such as general mathematics, pre-calculus, and calculus to grade 11 learners. How do you prepare to teach your lessons, and what do your lesson plans include? I prepare my lessons through careful planning on what the students need to learn and how it will be effectively done during class time. I need to think and design appropriate learning activities, select best learning materials, and employ teaching strategies to obtain feedback on student learning. By having a carefully constructed lesson plan, it allows me to enter the classroom with more confidence and maximize the chance of having a meaningful learning experiences with my students. My lesson plans should include first the objectives for the day, the learning objectives for the day, then the learning procedures, which includes the learning activities and the discussion or methodologies in the discussion of the concepts. And last is the assessment to check the students' understanding of the subject matter. Talk about 2 teaching strategies or methods that you effectively use in your classroom. Since the type of class I used to handle is heterogeneous, one strategy or method I employed was the cooperative or collaborative learning. It allows learners or students to work and engage in a team in a certain task. One activity that I conducted with my students through this strategy is the learning by stations. I use the four corners of the classroom as the learning stations wherein problems are posted on it. Then, each group is assigned to a certain learning station. They will work on a certain problem for a certain period of time, and after which they will move to the next station until they finish the task. After which, there will be a presentation of the outputs to validate and assess the accuracy of their answers. Another strategy which I believe effective to elicit learning is through the use of technology. Technology is a great way to improve students' engagement and make them excited for class. One best experience that I have in incorporating technology into the classroom is when I use the Kahoot, a gamified or game-based learning application. It makes learning fun, active, and engaging for the students. When someone enters your classroom, describe the learning activities in which the students are engaged. I believe that engagement is the key to active learning. When someone enters into my classroom, I would describe the learning activities to be learner-centered, in which the students are working collaboratively and taking responsibility for problem solving and inquiry. I would also describe the learning activities would be differentiated, that is according to the learning pace, interests, ability of the learner. Moreover, it would be evident in my classroom the right mix of fun and learning, which brings a lot of excitement for the students. I would reinforce the learning activities with math games, which will motivate and the students will get interested in my lessons, and that will also make them remember the concepts easily. What methods do you use to evaluate your students' progress? I evaluate students' progress through formative assessment, summative assessment, and their performance task. The formative assessment will be based on their written works, while summative assessment will be based on the quarterly exam results. For the performance task, such as making portfolios and doing problem solving requiring the process, the necessary solutions, I am using authentic assessment with the aid of the rubrics. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you incorporate it into your teaching. Describe any experiences you have with a smart board. I use technology in the teaching learning process when I do assessment of the learner's prior knowledge about a certain topic. For example, I use the Kahoot It application to let the learners do the pretest or answer the pretest. Also, I am using the Google Form as a paperless tool to administer quizzes and summative tests. Also, when I present the abstraction and discuss the concepts of the lesson, especially those topics which require graphing, I am using the Desmos graphing application. And for our virtual classes, I have the experience to use the Google Jamboard. Unfortunately, I do not have any experience in the use of the smart board, since our school has no such technology. However, I have some knowledge in the use of the smart board through watching tutorial videos. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, Share ways you regain their attention without interrupting the lesson. I believe that a teacher cannot be effective without proper or right disciplinary approach. If I have students who are noisy and non-attentive, what I usually do to regain their attention is to use the call and response technique. For example, I will say the word or the phrase, Simon says. For example, Simon says, stand up. The students are expected to perform the act, and they will stand up. With that, some students will chime in, capturing the other students' attention, especially those who are not listening. If that won't work, one way or another way is I will just pause for a while, try keeping quiet, calm, and wait until those students who are not listening will be able to become cautious and eventually will stay quiet too. Also, I will try to roam around, approach, and tap the shoulders or back of those students who are not listening and give them a warning, and will ask them to respect and give their attention to our lesson. Describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher and how did you resolve this problem? The most difficult problem I have had to deal with as a teacher was dealing a parent of an achiever student. There is this one mother who called me through phone and wanted to influence the results of the ranking of my class advisory. She wanted that her daughter be awarded as first place instead of second during the recognition day. But I am a teacher with dignity. I am a teacher with credibility, fairness, and of good reputation. So I never let her influence my decision or the result of the ranking. I did not change the ranking of my students of my class advisory. So what I did, I requested their presence and called for a short conference with them, with the parents and the daughter. And I explained to them the process of determining the academic achievers, showing to them the performances of their daughter in all of the subject learning areas. So after the conference, they agreed and admitted the fact that their daughter is really a second placer. So that resolves the issue. Give an example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods. One example that shows my flexibility is that when the school where I was assigned then had no teacher to handle General Physics 1 in grade 11 STEM classes. So the school principal requested me to handle the said subject for the meantime while they are looking or hiring for a physics teacher. So without hesitation or reservation, I took the challenge to handle and teach the subject. I got to be resourceful and improvise and localize materials and equipment to be used in conducting experiments because the school had no physics laboratory or apparatuses for conducting experiments.